Good morning, everyone. Gordy Cosfeld, Royal Ross, is in South Dakota, enjoying time with family, which is where he should be. Jana is with me here at Jana's Market Grill, and we're going to talk a little bit about your apartments in Kenyon. But before we get to that, let's talk about Jana's Market Grill.
Yeah, what would you like to know?
Oh, I tell you, I don't think I've had a bad meal in this place, Jana.
This is cool. That's very cool. Very cool to hear.
Seriously.
I like the recipes. It's all about a good recipe that can be replicated.
And you have to have good ingredients.
Yeah, making better choices, too, right off the top is part of our mission statement. Just a little bit better options as the ingredients go in.
Some people, go for cheaper ingredients. Cheaper isn't necessarily better.
No. And then it's also, too, stabilizers to keep it fresh for longer periods of time are not always good for you. So ours perish, over time. So anybody that's not been here, just understand we do hot food just like a restaurant would. So food would come out to you immediately. But for those that plan, for later on or for other people, you can pick up a lot of the same items cold and you can reheat them. So the sandwiches are able to be going home, and salads can go home right away, and dinners can go home. We have specific dinners that are not part of our hot menu. So lasagna you can only get cold, but a fried egg sandwich you can only you can get it hot and cold. I'll take that back. But chicken fried steak, you can only get hot. So a lot of recipes, folks, like 150 recipes we do.
Isn't that amazing?
It is. And each one had a lot of thought put into it, from how you see it when you walk in to how well it reheats in 5 days and how long lettuce lasts. So everything is perishable. So I learned a lot when I did this, probably more than the average restaurant person, because I had to learn how food, will be in a few days, And then it goes into how well it is for you. What are we doing for folks with dietary needs, gluten-free and people that are on keto and people that are diabetic and people that need no sugar and people that are, looking to eat better, more proteins and less carbs. And what does that mean? It's less processed foods is the next thing that's trending. People are starting to understand that what they ingest is causing a lot of their health problems, and if you have not figured that out, then let me be the one to tell you that a lot of the things that you eat, even though they're convenient, are not good for you.
Yeah.
And
I know we all use the microwave virtually every day.
Yes.
But I've often thought, if you look at the cancer statistics, and when microwaves came into vogue, there's kind of a correlation there. And I think part of it is we don't do what they tell us to do on the box when you heat it up. You're supposed to let it stand for a minute or two or whatever, right? Most people take it right out and start eating.
The others, too, I question, a lot of plastics can be heated. Right. But again, plastics are in everything, from the glasses that we drink from and, the things we hold and the gloves we put on. I mean, there's so much that we don't know. Long-term effects of these, things that have been created in the last few years. What happens, So again, just be mindful when you're eating something that lasts 2 months. It's probably not good for you. Like those little, Twinkies or something that have a long shelf life. They put stuff in it so that it lasts longer.
I can't remember the last time I had a Twinkie.
I loved Twinkies in the day, but you know what? It might have changed over time. I don't know what, the ingredient lists are. Maybe when they first came out, they only lasted a couple weeks in the store. Who knows?
I'll bet I'll bet it's been 40 or 50 years since I've had a Twinkie.
Right? I haven't either. But they're there.
And I don't miss them.
Really? I love Little Debbie's. Those are really good because I'm a sucker for desserts. We grew up with them. I mean, German chocolate cake in my family was a breakfast.
Yeah, we're kind of, we're dessert people, but I can't be a dessert person now.
No. It's all about, now I eat proteins, which is your meats, and I eat vegetables. I try to do half my plate with vegetables, and that's usually lettuce. I like lettuce, and I like fruits, and I like, I'm not a huge fan of some vegetables, but others I like. And so then I always load up my plate with at least half of it being vegetables and fruit. And then the other is protein.
Well, in this country, we do put meat at the center of the plate when it should be more of a side dish.
Yes. But also, too, we add a lot of pasta and we add a lot of potatoes and we add a lot of, fillers. It's good to fill our tummies, but it's not what our body runs on. Our body runs on certain things. And that's what you have to define with your body. You should know your body, and if you don't pay attention, how things make you feel in the afternoon could be what you're eating. Because if I eat a fast food item, I will just bottom out about 2 hours later. I won't feel as good. But there's other things I eat and I'm like, I feel great. Let's go. I can feel the energy, and I can feel my mind waking back up again. But we take these quick fixes like caffeine and sugars and we live off them. We can survive on sugar. Sure. I'm a great example of that. But what happens in time is the body can't continue that. And so then we get hit in our 50s, 60s, and 70s where things just quit working, But then we have to change. That's where a lot of people end up at my place going, hey, my body changed. I don't feel good and I have to change what I'm eating. Now I have to pay attention to it. I have to be mindful. And if you can start being mindful now, younger, better when you're older, right?
Your bread does not have preservatives, right?
No. Nope. It's a company we get from our food distributor that's a manufacturer. It's a bakery out of Minneapolis, and it's great bread. And it will go bad over time. So we keep it
terrific bread.
We keep it in the refrigerator. I love the multigrain. That's wonderful. And the cranberry wild rice. I'll tell you what, the cranberry wild rice bread here sells, 150 loaves a month.
I believe it.
Compared to like a Oreo cheesecake, which there's only about 30 that might sell. So the next highest seller is like a cheesecake, and it's in the 30s or 40s or 50s. It doesn't even compare to that wild rice bread. So people are taking it home and making their own sandwiches and their own toast and putting their own honey on it, which I highly recommend honey. Honey is good for you. So find those better things in life and then don't give them all up. You can indulge, but I always say split the calories. Look at some of these packaging because they deceive you. You'll have 800 calories in a Rice Krispie bar. You know what I mean? Like some of the desserts are really high density calories, but you can have it. Just don't have it all at one time.
And what I get a kick out of is what they, in labeling, right?
Yeah.
Popcorn, they put in there unpopped. Who eats unpopped popcorn?
I didn't even see that. My favorite is when it says, you're thinking, it's 200 calories. That's great. But it's a third of it. A third of this little tiny bar is like so many calories, 600 calories total, 200 calories for just like a sliver, So I always kind of, my sweets I divide. I always eat it with somebody else. And that's why I recommend here. If you want something sweet, divide it. You can have a cinnamon roll, just share it, So then it's not all in one day's calorie intake.
Single guy like me, it's hard to do that though.
Well, divide and conquer. You can indulge, but you just have to, it takes a lot of willpower.
It does.
Sure. Those people that go to the gym every day, God bless you. I'm so proud of you. And when you get into that rhythm of physical exercise, you begin to crave it. And I'm telling you right now, if you just get in the routine of doing something, your body will get accustomed to it and you will change over time.
Well, it's been almost a couple of years since I biked and I love biking.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I can hardly wait till next spring when I can actually bike
again. And take it slow, and then you just build up your stamina over time and all of a sudden it becomes part of your routine and you feel better.
Well,
opens up your mind.
The plan is to get me a stationary bike and this winter build myself up.
Yes. I love that plan.
That's the plan.
Yeah. And put it where you can look outside or watch TV because you can just sit there. If I watch something on TV, like one of those mystery shows, I can sit on that bike for an hour.
That's how I do it. I watch whatever I'm watching on television. When there's commercial breaks, because they're all about 2 minutes or so, I go full speed there into commercial.
Oh my gosh, you're ambitious, yeah.
And then I slow down during the actual program, and then when the commercials come on, I go fast.
That's
again.
Pretty good. Other people would go get something to eat. Oh, commercial break, I'm out. No, but it's good, and I'm inspiring everybody, I hope, just to do, and you will be better. You just have to eat better and be better and move your body. Turn the music on. I'm a huge fan of dancing. I love dancing when no one's around. I'm a great dancer, but never in public, right? And so if you're that kind of person, then turn on a good disco song. You'll remember, how to move. And all of a sudden you're moving and your joints that were stiff are kind of opening up again. And, you just feel a little bit more limber. So when you get out of bed the next day, you're not as stiff. As we get older, our joints stiffen up, and just move. Turn the music on. Move around a little bit when you're doing dishes,
Me, I like throwing mine in the dishwasher.
Yeah, but you got to clean the counter. You got to move around a little bit, especially with a good song on.
But the reason I asked about the preservatives in bread is because that's another thing. I think you touched on it earlier. It doesn't last as long, but it's better for you.
Right. One of the things I found when I got into this, when I switched this business model, is where does our food come from? And I realized food comes from just a couple sources. One is grocery store distribution. The other is restaurant distribution. And when you're in the restaurant world, you don't always get the same products as you do in the grocery world. So I can get access to a lot of things that you guys don't see in your grocery world. And that's why I made it available to you. Because otherwise you'd only see it at like mom's 50th wedding anniversary when you get like a buffet. And you're like, wow, that's a really cool, yada, yada. And that's where, like, our bread, to be able to just buy it off our shelf versus just always buying it in a sandwich is a great opportunity for people.
The other neat thing about Jana's, if I do say so myself, Jana, are the trinkets and little books and things that you have here.
Yeah, so I had a ladies' boutique for a long time, and it just became too expensive to keep both of these businesses running. I had employees at both places, and yet I still wanted to be able to offer thoughtfulness. It's very hard sometimes to be thoughtful when you don't want to run into Walmart. I don't want to run into someplace, and sometimes I don't have time, but it's somebody's birthday or it's something, and I just want to be thoughtful, and that's why I put things along the way that we could just grab. For ourselves.
I was looking out there.
Gifts.
You got some bandages, Jesus bandages.
Those are cute.
Cool idea.
I filled the store with a lot of stocking stuffers. So people are coming in getting puzzles, and they'll pick up I have people come in and get the bread and jam, or the bread and honey to give as a gift. So giving the gift of food is also very thoughtful, because as people get older, they don't want things. Yeah, my grandma didn't want more things. I already had enough stuff to go through of hers. Don't give her those. But she loved the food, food gift cards or just, thoughtful things from my store. And I love stocking her fridge. That's where a lot of this was inspired, was taking care of her.
You do have gift cards here?
Yeah, we have gift cards. Yeah, we have a lot. Yeah, and that's also thoughtful, too. Just get a gift card for somebody. And if they've not been here, they'd appreciate coming.
Any denomination?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
When I was laid up, I actually got some gift cards from Jana's Market from a couple I don't even know in Lakeville. Sent me a $40 gift certificate to your store.
Oh my gosh, that's so kind.
When I was laid up in the hospital and the nursing home. That was kind.
That was very kind. I love seeing folks come in here to care for others. It's part of our nature, We always have to take care of our parents and our spouses and our children, and so this helps.
So keep that in mind, folks, when you're giving your gifts. For that person that has virtually everything, they really don't need any stuff, more
things. Mm-hmm.
Get them a gift
card.
They got to eat.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is a gift card with a box of cookies. So we're going to start doing cookies. Tomorrow I begin baking mine, because we have just a variety of cookies that we put into small boxes and large boxes, and it's very thoughtful. I think I pack like 15 cookies in this box, if not more. And then the larger one has even more. And it's just a variety of cookies, and you can attach a gift card to it. The other question I have is, when do you give cookies? When is the appropriate time to give cookies? We all make them, right? But when do we actually give them? Right? So I think that it just begins in December. As soon as December comes, because again, it's very hard to be thoughtful with all the people that you know all on one day. So I say begin giving now, begin being thoughtful right now, because when you get to the holiday, you may not have that chance, because it gets really tight at the end for all of us. We have really high expectations, and then Christmas comes and we're like, I didn't get to everybody.
Yeah.
And so start now, pick up something sweet and endearing and just drop it off and say, God bless you, I was thinking of you.
And you'll find it here at Jana's.
Yeah, that's the fun thing. Mm-hmm.
Those knickknacks you have are so cool.
Yeah, and you find something in your price point, you just grab more. And then you add a little bit to it and you personalize it. And so let me be a part of your gift giving this year with something that we make here.
How do you find some of that stuff?
A lot of it is just from when I was buying gifts at the finally. I would go to Vegas even. Vegas was a fun place to find things because it was distributed differently. A lot of the things that we get here are only distributed up in Minneapolis, right? But when you go to other locations, there's companies that don't come here. So once you find out about them, you just order direct. Mm-hmm. So I do a lot of searching online. There's a couple wholesale companies I go through. Otherwise, it was good things that I sold at my store, like soap. There's a certain soap that I had over there that I sell a lot of, and certain puzzles that I carry here, and chocolates, certain caramels too. So there's things that I just know are good that I just continue to sell.
That turkey on the cranberry bread out here is so good.
You know what? We roast our own turkey breast. That's another nice thing. And we roast our own chicken tenders too, and a lot of people don't realize this, but we cook it in Chardonnay. Water and Chardonnay, and then herb seasoning on it, and bake it, and that gets cut and put in your Caesar salad and your chicken berry salad and all of our sandwiches, and quesadilla even ends up with that Chardonnay chicken. So it's all about how the proteins are made. How do you make those, and then what are you making from that protein? And now how can we put it into different recipes? Mm-hmm.
You're making me hungry.
I know. But at this time of day, it's all about bacon. We sell a lot of bacon. We bake our bacon so it gets nice and crispy. Mm-hmm. It takes too long on the grill.
No frying bacon.
We bake the bacon, yeah, because we do sheets of it at a time, and so it's great to have that available. I love our breakfast. I think of all the things that we make, our breakfast is probably my favorite because we've done it for so long. And anytime I go anywhere, I always compare it to ours. It's very rare that I find a restaurant that cooks like we do. Honestly, I'm always disappointed when I go with their hash browns because I'm really critical of our hash browns.
Yeah, Royal brought that up last week.
Yeah, I know I made over 1 million. I'm sure Bernie's made, I don't know, 1.5 million, 2 million eggs. Think about all the eggs. He used to do the egg side. I would do the hash brown side, and it was a good team. And we're still doing it, which is a blessing. A lot of people don't know when they come in here that we're still running it. Just because the name changed doesn't mean that we're different. Same family, same folks, same recipes, which is nice.
Today is Small Business Saturday.
It is Small Business Saturday. Hey, I forgot all about that.
So people need to stop into your small business.
And I did have folks come in today now that you mention it. So thank you, people, for stopping in and supporting us. I really appreciate that. That's really cool.
Get that gift certificate soon.
Yeah.
You cater as well.
Yeah, we do a lot of catering, do a lot of boxed lunches, sandwiches on trays, chicken Alfredo, hot, soup. We do a lot of soup, chili. Well, it'll just go out in big,
right.
Crocs.
So if I have a big family gathering and I really don't want to deal with all the cooking,
no, you can call me. And the other thing too is you can take it from us cold. That's the nice thing is we know how to sell it cold, so we can tell you how to heat it at that time. It's hard when you have to pick up hot food and make that timing correct. I love crock pots. I love being able to hold certain items, and there's just some things that just hold better. And soup is one of them. And it always goes well, And our soup is gluten-free. So chicken wild rice is gluten-free. Chili is gluten-free, so that's nice. Mm-hmm.
It's creamy, the chicken wild rice.
And what I did last week, I started with a cheesy potato, and it ended up being scallop potatoes because it got so thick. But I liked it even better. So we added a lot of bacon and ham to it and made it scallop potatoes. Very good. I like that. I like the heartiness of it, and it's gluten-free, which is good for people that are trying to avoid sugars. Mm-hmm.
For sure. I've learned to read labels a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was in the big grocery store the other day, and I was like, if they took out all the processed foods, what would be left? We'd have just a few aisles of things, So I'm really excited about our future and how our food may be, looked into. What's acceptable for us should be acceptable in other countries as well.
But that's where we're at, right? We need to eat less processed food.
Less processed foods. I always told my kids that you could have whatever junk food you wanted, but you had to have something God made. And they're like, "What's that mean?" And I was like, "It just has one word. It's a one-word item. So apple, banana,
tomato.
It's not like banana bread. That doesn't count. So they could have the banana bread, but they had to have the banana." Mm-hmm. So very, very, very excited for the Christmas season.
I used to make banana bread, but I put a lot of sugar in it.
That's the point. Yeah, it's very good. Mm-hmm.
So now if I make banana bread, it's going to have no sugar in it.
Mm-hmm. But there's recipes.
Have you made that?
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I was wondering how I was going to do that.
I don't know. But there's a lot of good recipes out there. Mm-hmm. A lot of good recipes. It's just finding them. And again, as you learn to eat different, you're going to feel different, because just the things you put in it, you almost crave. You crave it again. I was drinking something the other day. I'm not a tea person. I'm not a coffee person. I don't drink wine. I don't drink beer. But one of the things I've never done is really drink hot fluid. And a friend of mine made and I don't like tea, so I don't like that back flavor of tea. But she just did honey and water, lemon and ginger. And it was delicious. And it was just water. That's it, with just some things in it that your body just naturally needs.
Yeah,
so.
when I went down to Texas to visit my uncle a couple of years back, dill pickles in water.
Oh, boy, I'm not going to go that far.
It was over 100 degrees the whole 2 weeks I was there every day.
Yeah.
And he was 90 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do this? I said to my uncle. Oh, you get used to it. He grew up in Iowa.
Yeah. But he drank pickle juice?
Yeah,
is that what you're saying to me?
He had pickles in water.
Yeah. There's something about fermented vegetables that are very good for you. But I don't know if I go so far as drinking pickle juice. I don't know.
It was pretty good, actually.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're here to tell the tale.
I thought so, and I'm not a pickle guy.
Oh, that's interesting.
And sandwiches and stuff, I take pickles off.
Okay.
But in that water, it was pretty good.
Wow.
I don't know.
Well, when in Rome, right?
I got weird taste. Let's talk about your apartments in Kenyon,
Yeah,
Jana.
that's very interesting. Yeah, the apartments in Kenyon are very cool. They're very nice. Great addition to Kenyon.
Hey, Ed Friesen's here.
Hey, Ed. So I'll do a quick summary. Kenyon Apartments, they're handicap accessible. They used to be an assisted living facility. They're attached to the Kenyon Clinic. They're right in Kenyon, right off the Highway 60, and there's still 19 available. So we got a couple people interested, but it'd be nice to get them all rented out. So contact me if you're interested.
You have 1 and 2 bedroom.
Yep, I have 1 and 2 bedroom. Some have laundry in them. Laundry is included. So even if it's not in the unit, there's still laundry at the facility. There's a gym we put in. It's nice because you can get out and walk. It's all one level. So if you have family that's away, far away, I've had a lot of people say they want to move their parents down here so that you can care for them. Very convenient there. Also, too, if you are listening and you want to be able to downsize, we're going to be running some specials that I'll let you know about next week. Okay, to get folks in at this time of year. It's kind of challenging because it's chilly, And it takes a lot to get relocated, especially if you've been in your place for a long time. And I talk to a lot of people that are kind of aging at their home, at the ranch, or not the ranch, but their farms, and just wanting to downsize and move in. But it's a lot of work, that they have to do to get there. So if we can give some incentives on rent that could help them, that would give them some time and not have to feel pressured by the cost of it.
But cost is very reasonable.
Yeah, I think so. 1 bedrooms run $1,060, and that includes a lot. The only thing it doesn't include is electric, and that would be like your lights and your air conditioning. But your heat is covered, your water heat is covered, internet is covered. Internet would also cover your television if you have a smart TV, and trash and water. Did I get all that? Yeah, that's pretty much all you need to live on your own, and it's all in one payment, which is nice. And if they live in that building, we're going to be there a couple times a week so we can run food from Jana's when they order, which is kind of a perk because we all are concerned about feeding our parents, and if they end up staying there, we have no problem delivering out there.
And didn't you say you're going to bring some vending machines there too?
I don't know because vending is a little bit challenging.
Oh, okay.
It has to have enough folks to be able to draw from it. So right now, no.
Well, if you get filled, you may have.
If there's enough demand, but again, we're going there, so it'd be different if we weren't. So it's easy to deliver exactly what people want versus having items in there they may not want.
You have a website?
We do. Oh, for that? Yeah, it's Kenyon Apartments. I think we picked up every single website for Kenyon Apartments. Yep. So if you just run Kenyon Apartments, it'll lead you to the Garden View Apartments is the name of it. And then you can click into it and be able to see all the units.
Fantastic. Floor plans are very open?
Because they're all different. They all kind of have a different view or a different layout. And right now, because there are so many, you get a better value if you pick up now because some of them are a little bit bigger at the same price. So you get the pick of the litter, basically, is what I'm thinking. Pick of the litter right now, folks. And there's a beautiful one, almost 1,200 square feet with a vaulted ceiling in it. That was the old dining room. That one's pretty.
Is that a little more rent or is that the same?
No, it's a little more rent. It's a little bit more, but it has everything. I would live there in a minute. It's beautiful. Probably the nicest apartment in Kenyon, I would say.
The laundry is in that one.
Pardon?
You have
I put laundry in it. It's got 2 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms. It has its own entrance. It has, again, the big vaulted ceiling, space for your desk. It's very cute. Dishwasher, big kitchen, big island. Yeah.
Ooh.
Pretty space.
That sounds tempting. Except my house will be paid off in 6 months. I want to live at least a while with no house payment.
Right. You just want that feel. Just walking in your underwear in the house going, yes, it's mine.
I won't go there, Janet.
I always picture like the Tom Cruise show, right? Risky Business. Just sliding on the wooden floor. I think I could see you doing that, Gordy.
Okay. All right.
Well, thank you for the time today. I appreciate it.
Bet. Yeah, thanks, Janet.
Great to get caught up, and I'm going to hand it over.
You bet. Ed Friesen is with us. He's the boys basketball coach. And, what's your title now over at BA?
Interim co-head of school.
How are things going in that capacity?
It's exhausting. That's how it's going because we had a math teaching position opening for this school year, and math is one of those areas where it's hard to find, teachers. And So I we didn't fill it, and so I picked up a few math classes too. So there are days that I feel like I'm a full-time math teacher, and then you have to get caught up on emails and phone messages and so on. So there are some days that are exhausting. Yeah.
But you don't miss the AD part?
Well, I'm still doing that, but we were able to hire a young guy by the name of Grant Ackley as assistant AD, and he's fantastic. So he's picking up more and more of the day-to-day AD duties, and so I really just kind of focus a little bit more on maybe like next year's schedule and that kind of thing, and we'll let him kind of run with getting the workers for today's game or whatever lined up.
You are replacing a lot of guys from a year ago on your team, right?
We are. Well, we're definitely, 3 of our top 6 are back, but, the three guys that are gone are big shoes to fill. Hudson Dillon, Aaron Huerta, Willie Potter, right? Hudson and Aaron, were, tall, lanky guys, good athletes, good jumpers, and big part of the rebounding game. Willie Potter, just a phenomenal athlete, very quick and strong, so, the athletic ability, the height, the, strength that those 3 guys had, it's going to be a challenge to replace those 3 guys, definitely. But, we've got, I like our group. I don't know exactly how we're going to look athletically and strength-wise and quickness-wise once we get into games here. But what I really like about our group is that, there's a bunch of good, hard-working players in that group. And so, the last couple of years, we maybe were only 6 or 7 players deep, and we might be able to do 8 or 9 this year just because we were a little bit more interchangeable and, like I said, good, hard-working players.
Well, that's good. So when do you start playing?
Our first game is Tuesday night. We go down to St. Charles, and that'll be a test for us, definitely. And then next Friday, we're home against United South Central, and that'll be a test too. Probably 2 different styles. I think, we're kind of expecting to see some, full court pressure from St. Charles. And, so we'll find out how good of ball handling and passing we are. And then against United South Central, I expect them to be a physical team. So we'll find out how well we can play with the physical players.
And you don't do any scrimmages, right? We
have not done any scrimmages the last couple of years. This year probably would have been a good year to have done one. Typically, boys basketball, the first week of practice is the week of Thanksgiving. And so I have a couple players that have family out of state, so, some of them were missing from practice on Wednesday, some were missing from practice yesterday. And so scheduling, in at least years past, scheduling a scrimmage, that first week with Thanksgiving break just didn't make a whole lot of sense. This year, Thanksgiving, ended up being a week later than normal. So this year could have been a year to have done a scrimmage. But we just did not schedule one.
So again, home openers next Friday, you said?
Home openers next Friday.
At Van Orsel? Very cool. Well, we got about a minute left here. Anything you wanted to get the word out on?
Well, I as I was driving down here, I was listening to Jana talking about all of the food options and so on, and I really need to come up like a contract with Jana just to, cook and deliver food for me because, during the school year, I don't cook. It's not one of my favorite hobbies, and like you, Gordy, I need to watch what I eat. So
yeah, I definitely need to do that. Oh well, that's the way life goes.
It is.
I do appreciate your stopping by.
Oh, thank you, Gordy. We appreciate everything that you and KDHL does for high school sports.
Fantastic. That will conclude today's edition of our Faribault Spotlight on Youth. Used to be the Faribault Coaches Show. We're kind of having a hard time getting that new name put in there. Faribault Spotlight on Youth. Doesn't have to be sports, knowledge bowl, math team, whatever. We want to talk to the kids that come on out to Jana's Market as Royal is out in South Dakota enjoying his family, and he should be doing that. He's out in South Dakota.
The Southern